Talk the things me comfy, talk the things, you hear? Talk the things me comfy, talk the things, you hear me? Talk the things me comfy, talk the things. Me no business, me no care if them screw face, whoa. Talk the things me comfy, talk the things, you hear me? Talk the things me comfy, talk the things, whoa. Talk the things me comfy, talk the things. Me no business, me no care if them no worry.
Neighbors, let me start the things. So, man, we're gonna let's start the things. Steve is your boy Fire Feelings back in the building with the next one. Y'all don't know we're doing it over here. So come on, guys. I told y'all I will be on my game. You understand? Anyway, today definitely we're gonna be dealing with the autopsy of the young man that definitely was unalive in the police custody. Now today was the autopsy, and we see whereby the APNU and Miss Simone Brooms was on the ground. Now the female, I don't know if she is a member, a family member, if she is a doctor or whatever, but basically here is where you're gonna get some proper confirmation on what's going on with the autopsy, okay guys? So here we're going on. Like I said, if it's your first time over here, so give the video a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, put your post notification bell on. Until next time, see you guys. We out here, so stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.
Basically was perforation, peritonitis, septicemia, septic shock. He was complaining of the abdominal pain, but I want to say that he was a little careless, you know, because I guess it could have been saved if the doctor would have been a little more aggressive. But that's it. We're still awaiting some results, the toxicology report, and some histopathological findings as well.
Dr. Cummins, I mean, I love your medical terms and so on, but could you break it down in layman terms as we understand exactly? Dr. Cummins, you witnessed the
yes,
autopsy.
Perforation of the stomach. Perforation.
Okay.
Yes. Perforation.
And if somebody asks you, what is that? Okay.
Yeah, an ulcer. I was being a little while, and so there was a hole there. Ulcer means a hole.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything came out, and it contaminated the entire abdominal area. Mm-hmm. And so we have that septic shock.
But Doc, I can ask you a question as a professional. Relatives said they saw him receiving blow to his stomach, to his abdomen. The brother said that he saw the police and he gave a statement in that regard. Got a punch. If I got an ulcer, can that, I mean...
Yes, they can aggravate the situation.
It can aggravate the situation. And this is Dr. Cummins, and we're outside here with the pathologist. Dr. Todd, your...
Well, my observations are definitely, as you know, you've heard from an expert, a medical expert. My role was to observe the process, and I saw that the pathologist did everything that he possibly could to try to thoroughly examine the body, try to find everything in relation to a possible. I support what Dr. Cummins said. So if there is report of even the slightest blow whatsoever, I believe it is enough to have compounded the situation, right? But what we witness here, I believe Dr. Cummins will bear with me, opens the investigation a bit wider, all right? Because you're not only looking at an issue of whether there is direct blow coming from the police. You're looking at the issue of when the complaint was made, time period of taking him to the hospital, when he got to the hospital, was he attended to by a doctor, what was given to him, because clearly the medications given to him, if at all, didn't really help the situation. So you're looking at issues of malpractice right across the board. So I think there is samples which will go for testing and will come back, and I think we'll have a clearer picture and trying to cover all ends, right?
But Dr. Todd, one thing, you said the other day that the pathologist asked for some documents, some information. Can you say if the police provided the necessary information that was requested by the pathologist?
Well, clearly the pathologist was not satisfied today that the police brought what he had requested. And he had requested particularly if he was attended to by a doctor at the hospital to have a report. What was the complaint? Was he examined? Was there any form of treatment given to him by the doctor? So the pathologist, Dr. Neil Singh, was basically looking for that type of information so that he can follow and have an appreciation of the history of the person that he is about to do an examination on. That was not done. We had a look at it as well, and I think Dr. Cummins can bear witness with what was seen. It's just basically what transpired at the hospital, but no doctor really gave a report that this young man was actually examined, or any type of tests was conducted on him at the hospital. We don't have that history at all.
But Doc, how surprised are you after the family had learned when they go to the hospital after leaving here that he didn't see any doctor, that no doctor at the hospital there, that they say he didn't see a doctor? You received that information from the family as it relates to that?
Well, if the facts bears the truth that there was no doctor who attended to him, the question therefore to be asked, what medication was given to him? Who did he receive that medication from? And if indeed a nurse administered or given medication, on whose authority was that done? And so, really and truly, I think the medical doctors are the best people to speak, but this young man could have been saved.
Dr. Cummins, if I may ask, what about the marks on this young man's head? There was a bump on his left, 2 bumps, one in the middle of the back and one. What about these marks on this young man's head? Was anything said by
From the photographs or the video, it's not marks of, let's say that they were lacerations. They were not lacerations. These were impressions. So like if you brace to an object for you get an impression in the body. That's what it is. That's what it is. There were few scars, but those scars, I think the observation was from the pathologist that those are all scars.
So what about the bump?
Well, the bump.
2 bumps.
On his shoulder.
One in the center of his back and one on the left.
Well, even if the bumps were not observed, I didn't see a bump. All right, but I think when you go in, the pathologist was going straight to main cause of death. Main cause of death. What would have been the main cause of death? And I think that is what we were looking. Immediately when you went into the stomach, you recognize everything was there.
Yeah.
Everything was there. And that's not normal. All right? And so on further examination, the doctor was able to see the problem.
Dr. Todd, one final thing. You witnessed this. You were a police officer. What would be your message to police when they arrest people and this way in which they're knocking people off a motorbike and getting physical and beating people on the streets? Because if this man had something within his stomach, what would you advise? Again, people might say it makes no sense, but I must ask this question. What would you advise the senior persons in government and so on?
I think clearly the protocol as to how police treat with humans must be revised. You can't take for granted that everyone who comes into custody might not have a medical condition, and your actions can compound that situation, which I believe is something worth exploring here. And then if someone complains, you can't take that as just an ordinary complaint, and you can't brush that aside. It was very serious that you intervene immediately, and I think that is what happened here. There seems to be, from what the reports you're getting, there seems to be a lot of questions that must be answered in relation to care of persons in police custody.
Thank you. Thanks, Dexter.
One more question.
Thanks.
Adam,
You know, you see, for me, when you have somebody that die, even if it is said that, you know, something in your stomach, let us say, and I'm saying this, and your family, right? Yeah. Yeah. You say he's worked with you? He's been. Okay.
He's a strong youth that do construction work and enjoy himself. And I could take another report. I see many times the police have BP in the street we live. Yes, he got a little loud sometime. And the police beat him up. And then beat his steady. Now the first time they got
Wow. So, person said when he drink, police is coming to beat you up. And,
not really when he drink
okay.
or whatever, but he's a little outmouth and he alright now. He don't cause problems. But the point is, I see the police and beat him right in front of the house in the street where he live there. And left him because he must tell the police to fuck off. Tell them to cuss them and then they hear the talk and then beat him and left him there. Come back again and beat him, they do it steady with the boy.
Wow. And you heard from somebody in the village as to, the gentleman said he witnessed, and everybody was saying that. And in fact, he's not the only person, but he's saying they witnessed how often they were beating this young man. And the doctor said that if it is true, the blow that he got to his stomach could have caused what they've seen today. And that's not coming from me, that is coming from the doctor. Who doctor? Huh?
The ulcer was there, the hole was there. See, yes. So I guess when they didn't touch him, they didn't examine. You know what I mean? They didn't, they never seen. I told you, you caught something called rebound tenderness. As soon as you touch the first the abdomen and you take off your hands,
It pain. Yeah. But doc, if he was not, that's what I was finding out, and persons on the live, because even if he had an ulcer, the question is, and I mean you answer it, but if you could shed some more light, and based on what the brother is saying and persons in the community, that the police dealt him all those amount of blow, because somebody said when they cuffed him the first time, he said, oh God, oh my belly. That was the first thing that I heard. And then the brother here, you give a statement to the police that you saw them hit him in his stomach. So doctor, everybody.
That was indeed the wrong place to hit him.
The wrong place to hit him.
Because he had a condition here that erupted.
Wow. And so maybe that's why he started crying out in the lockup for the pain.
So once you
You saw when they cuffed him?
yeah, but there's a human. When somebody complains, you have to listen to them.
all of you went right in.
Yeah, so I mean it is so hard, because I mean the family, you could, even if he got an ulcer, you cuff the man, beat him like that in his stomach, you see what it is doing. When he die, what you gonna say? Yeah.
Well, let's be
Yeah. I mean, but at least,
various samples from him,
yeah.
right, to do tests.
This is a sad reality, and like I'm saying, at the end of it, you know what happened, and based on the doctor and Dr. Karen Cummins, we must appreciate is a medical doctor by profession, And she's saying that the ulcer that is there, any hit, if the family you're talking about he would receive, could have caused that to rupture. And how are you? And so we're here, and to you viewers, should not walk off as yet. I've seen several times, and police going to arrest a man, you tell them about police going to arrest you. You know what it does? Hey, come here. You can't even say, well, you can't say anything. Then what happens? The police, the first thing they're hustling to do is to get physical with people. It's to get physical with people. You never troubled nothing.
And you tell us something you wrapping me. How can you wrap your beat it's come to that? Something else or something wrapping. How can you wrap that? If you're talking too bad, you're wrapping his stomach. Don't care what, you prop it up and you get that.
The mother is not here because she was here earlier, the mother, but she left because she couldn't bear to see and witness anything else. Seems like her precious. So the law is still trying to talk to the family. Before I end the live, I met two women here today, and they are here because, when I'm finished on the live, and the two women that was here, they both are here because their sons died at the hands of the police, and they got no justice. And so, it's so sad again to see them, but ciao, and I was just bringing to you to the best of my ability, so as you know where this matter is at. All right, so we'll come live again. Thank you.